Imagine you're a terrified 17-year-old speeding down the road in a stolen car, sirens blaring behind you. Dan Martell was exactly there. He even reached for a gun, ready to end it all, when fate intervened and the gun jammed. This moment should have been the end. Instead, it became a new beginning. Dan went to jail for 6 months, and for the first time, something actually changed. A guard pulled him out of solitary and said, "You don't belong here," the first person to ever believe in him. Then in rehab, he found a dusty computer and a Java book. He typed the first command and saw "Hello World" on the screen. Suddenly, that throwaway programming book ignited a fire inside him. As Dan recalls, finding "Hello World" was the best thing that ever happened to him. This is lesson 1. Rock bottom can be a launch pad. Dan was at his absolute lowest. Jail, drugs, no future. But instead of giving up, he found purpose. In that cell, he realized someone believed in me, and that pulled him back. More importantly, that broken "Hello World" scream sparked an obsession with building something new. In other words, hit your lowest low and find something positive to pour your energy into. Dan took a painful breakup with life and turned it into a learning binge. Did you think jail time just ends a story? No. For Dan, it was the prologue of his new life. Once Dan caught that spark, he dove in head first. He spent every free minute coding, learning business. I became obsessed with software, business, and proving to myself that I could build something. He admits he later realized he sucked at programming, but it didn't matter. It became my new addiction. This brings us to lesson 2. Follow your curiosity relentlessly. Dan didn't wait to be ready. He didn't complain or give up. He started. He launched his first company, an IT consulting firm called Spheric, as a teenager and learned by doing. If you were behind bars with a computer, what would you do? Dan made every hour count. Dan's journey wasn't smooth. After Spheric took off, he experienced plenty of face plants, half-baked ideas, failed products, and doors slammed shut. But he never let them stop him. In his own words, it wasn't a straight shot to success. False starts, ideas that crashed, but every setback was a stepping stone. That attitude paid off. Dan bootstrapped Spheric so well that it grew over 150% per year and sold for more than $1 million after 4 years. Even that huge win came because he kept iterating through failures. Lesson 3. Embrace failure and keep moving forward. Dan reminds us that each crash taught him something. As he said, every failure became a stepping stone on the way up. He didn't dwell on flops. He learned and tried again. No, he didn't get a golden parachute. He kept hustling. With Spheric behind him, Dan raised funding and built even bigger. His next venture, Flowtown, a social media marketing platform, and then Clarity, an expert advice marketplace. Each grew larger than the last. He literally lived out his motto. Between 2005 and 2013, I started, scaled, and exited 3 software companies, Spheric, Flowtown, and Clarity, each one bigger, faster, and stronger than the last. Lesson 4. Think big and scale fast. Dan didn't just tinker, he dreamed huge. After selling Spheric, he didn't retire. He and his team immediately launched Flowtown to tackle the next problem, and later founded Clarity to connect experts with learners. Each time he applied the lessons learned, the companies grew exponentially. In short, don't cap your vision at the first success. If Dan had stopped after Spheric, he wouldn't have hit his multi-millionaire stride. He kept building, iterating, and aiming higher.
Still, Dan's story isn't just a climb. As he kept winning, he had a sudden realization. He wanted more than money. Dan says, "The wins kept stacking, but what I wanted more? To see others win too." In 2015, he launched SaaS Academy and a global mentoring community and started sharing everything he learned on YouTube and social media. This leads to lesson 5. True success is multiplying others' success. Dan didn't hoard his playbook. He opened it up. He became a coach and investor, helping hundreds of founders. As he puts it, after all the exits, he realized building people was his real mission. Helping others gave his wealth purpose. We're not done yet. Dan's biggest lesson isn't about products or profit. By now, Dan Martell was a multi-millionaire, but he didn't stop learning. He found that being an entrepreneur is the ultimate personal development program. Lesson 6. Grow yourself through the journey. Dan says, "You'll never know what you're capable of until you start your own business." Every company he built forced him to level up. Pitching investors taught him confidence. Hiring teams taught leadership. And every crisis taught resilience. He believes business is a never-ending growth vehicle for your personal development. In other words, your company will stretch you, so embrace it. Dan credits this mindset with turning fear into fuel. The same teen who feared that chase became a CEO unafraid of challenges. Finally,
Dan learned a critical truth. Time is your most valuable asset. After accumulating wealth, he realized the goal isn't more money, it's freedom. His new mantra from the book, Buy Back Your Time, is don't hire to grow your business, hire to buy back your time. So, lesson 7, trade money for your time. Dan built systems, teams, and gave up tedious tasks so he could live on his own terms. He literally wrote the book on it. As one guide summarizes, he teaches entrepreneurs to stop trading time for money and to delegate the right tasks. For Dan, the luxury isn't a fancy car. It's enough free hours to pursue new ideas, family, or whatever they want. Money is a tool, not a trophy. Dan Martell's story is a wild ride of fear, grit, and inspiration. He shouldn't even be here, he says, but today he lives wealthy and free. From nearly shooting himself at 17 to mentoring millions, his journey is proof. Hit rock bottom and you can soar. Take these lessons to heart. Channel your darkest moments into purpose. Learn obsessively. Embrace failures as lessons. Never stop scaling your vision. Invest in others. Commit to constant personal growth and guard your time with everything you've got. If Dan can do it, so can you, no matter where you start. The fear and urgency in his story can fire you up. Act now. Believe in yourself and build the future you truly want. Dan's life turned on a single keystroke in rehab. Maybe your next key move is waiting today. Remember, as Dan says, I shouldn't even be here, but I am, and he's here to show you how it's done.